The OceanGate's Titan submarine began its journey from the port of St. John in Canada at a location where it was supposed to dive into the ocean. This point is 700 kilometers away in the North Atlantic Ocean, and it is here beneath the cold waters that the wreck of the Titanic is located. This journey started on Saturday, June 17, 2023, and according to the plan, the Titan was supposed to be launched into the water at 8 a.m. the next day, Sunday. It's important to note that a problem was identified before the dive, yet despite this, the submarine was launched into the ocean, putting lives at risk. What was that problem, and why was this danger taken despite knowing about it? There were a total of 5 people on this journey, including Hamish Harding, the founder of Action Aviation, who had also traveled to space with Jeff Bezos. Next was Stockton Rush, who was the CEO of OceanGate, a company that provides submersibles for ocean tourism. Third was 77-year-old Paul Henry Narjolet, an expert on shipwrecks who had previously visited the Titanic and had extensive knowledge about its scattered parts. Finally, there was Pakistani business tycoon Shahzada Dawood, who was part of the submarine along with his son Suleiman. Before the dive on June 17th, Hamish Harding made his last post on the internet, stating that their dive was delayed due to severe cold weather. He mentioned that they would dive when the weather improved a bit the next morning. These 5 people were going to fulfill their dream of seeing the famous Titanic wreck after it sank in 1912. Efforts to find it continued for many years, but due to the harsh conditions of the Atlantic Ocean, this task was not easy. Finally, in 1985, the wreck of the RMS Titanic was discovered on the ocean floor. The Titanic had left behind so many questions that it was time to seek answers. Dozens of expeditions were arranged with experts and researchers from different countries heading to the Titanic ship. Canadian filmmaker James Cameron made numerous visits to the wreck in 1995 and then released the Titanic movie in 1997. The success of the Titanic movie further fueled interest, making it a dream for millions to see the wreck for themselves. This endeavor was no longer limited to research purposes. Tourists also began visiting the shipwreck site. It is said that going to the depths of the ocean is even more difficult than going to space, and the main reason for this is the pressure of the water. The Titanic wreck is 4,000 meters or 4 kilometers below the ocean surface. To imagine this depth, just look at the Burj Khalifa and understand that the Titanic wreck is about that deep in the ocean. It's 5 times the height of the Burj Khalifa down there. The water pressure at this depth is 5,800 RC. This would be as much pressure as standing an entire elephant on just 1 square inch of a person's body, not his entire body. So now you can imagine how many square inches there would be in a submarine and how much pressure would be exerted on it. Well, on Sunday, June 30th, 2023 at 12 p.m., the submarine's journey started. Normally, it takes about 2 hours to reach the Titanic, but just 1 hour and 45 minutes in, the mothership, Polar Prince, which was waiting above, lost contact with the submarine. If it usually takes 2 hours to reach the Titanic, then losing contact just 15 minutes before means that the submarine must have been very close to the Titanic. At this depth in the ocean, sunlight cannot reach, and it is always pitch dark here. In such depths, losing a wireless signal is a normal occurrence. So initially, this was not taken very seriously. The entire trip was a total of 7 hours. They were supposed to return by 7 p.m. But when there was still no contact with Titan by 7 p.m. and it hadn't returned, the crew on the mothership above started to sweat. The Canadian research vessel, Polar Prince, began a search for Titan. At 9:40 a.m., they contacted the US Coast Guard to request help. The next day, on Monday, US and Canadian ships and planes launched a proper search operation across the entire area. They continued their search, not only on the surface of the ocean, but also underwater, with the help of sonar scanning. Commercial vessels in the area were also ordered to keep their eyes open. The search continued for the next 2 days, but there was no trace of Titan. But then, glimmer of hope appeared. On Wednesday, June 21st, at 6 a.m., the search team heard some sounds from the depths of the water. These sounds were heard with the help of the water radars. They were immediately sent in the direction of the sound. But this time too, there was no news of Titan. Now the fear of losing the Titan forever was increasing. Because the amount of oxygen in the submarine was only enough for 96 hours or 4 days, and by this time, 3 out of those 4 days had already passed. But the search teams from the US, Canada, and France did not lose hope. On June 22nd, it was sent to the Titanic wreck, a heart-wrenching sight. The RRB spotted Titan's tail near the Titanic. 3:48 p.m. RRB, which had reached the wreck of the Titanic, spotted a section of the Titanic's tail lying just 1,600 feet away from where it had gone to look. Now the wreck of the Titanic and its debris itself became headlines around the world. This only means one thing: the submarine could not withstand the pressure of the water and exploded in the depths of the ocean. This news created quite a stir around the world. Many questions began to arise regarding OceanGate's safety. OceanGate's CEO Stockton Rush, who himself lost his life in this incident, he had said in 2021 that he knew he had broken some rules while building the Titan because he made it from aviation-grade carbon fiber instead of steel. But he wanted to bring some new innovations to this industry. That's when carbon fiber was used to place steel. Before its first launch, Titan was tested at a pressure of 5,000 to 10,000 psi, which it passed. Our experts believe that inside the ocean, thousands of types of forces act on the marine, which includes not only pressure, but also the flow of water, which is created due to waves. Additionally, due to the darkness, it is also possible that the submarine collided with a heavy object, rock, or even a marine creature, whatever it may be. One reason for Titan's disaster was its lightweight carbon fiber, but another reason was the pre-existing cracks in it. Yes, Titan Submarine 2000. In 2019, it also took a famous businessman named Carl Stanley, and at that time, it was operated by the CEO of OceanGate. Cal mentioned that during the journey when they were going down, he heard a cracking sound in the Titan's body. At one point, he could drive the submarine by the sound of the cracking increasing. At that time, he didn't notice the sound because he had trust in the CEO of OceanGate, who designed everything. But after this incident, he told CNN that the sound was a warning, that the Titan's body could not withstand the water pressure. If this is true, then cracks in the Titan's body had formed. An executive from OceanGate had raised concerns about the Titan's carbon fiber body. If this is true, then there is no doubt that cracks had already started appearing in the body of the Titan. In 2005, an OceanGate executive spoke out against the Titan's carbon fiber body. The issue was detected just before the Titan ruptured, imploding in 0.3s. It would have been detected just milliseconds before it ruptured, and in reality, that's exactly what happened at the depth where the Titan ruptured. Experts say that it would have taken only 0.3 seconds for it to implode. You all will also like and share this video a lot. Thank you so much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.